Yes, sir.
And
I'm gonna mute.
record.
Why am I showing not on camera? It's weird.
You're on.
All righty, guys. Thursday night, Shredders Unite Biz Call. Thank you one and all for joining. Jesse's with us. Susan Rothman's with us. This is going to be a fun, boombastic call. Boombastic. That's an honor of Mimi. That's the new
bombastic.
word. Well, bombastic. Well,
Yeah.
when you wrote it out though, Mimi, you put boombastic. So I think it's actually kind of funny.
No wonder everybody was laughing.
Sorry about that. I had some feedback in my ear. So everybody, thank you for joining me. This is going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I have not spoken to Susan, have not talked to Jesse. The reason for this call tonight is that I really want to get specific with Jesse and Susan and talk about the ER shred in terms of what it is it actually doing to our bodies from a health perspective, but for everybody to maybe get a better understanding, making that emotional connection of what's happening in my body. Many of you have just finished the August 11, we're on our 11th day, right? So we're finishing tonight. Tomorrow morning, you're gonna have your wonderful shake. We can't wait to hear your testimonials and your shares, but this all begins with your story. So everyone wants to know how to do the business. The business is pretty simple. Most important is go out and get a mind-blowing experience, have a result that gets you excited. Once you have that result, now you just have to basically quantify what's happening in your body. How do you share that with others? So for tonight's purpose is simply this. One of the problems I had when I first started out with our fulfillment company with Isagenix is I got so excited, I had to tell them everything that it did for my body. And that's not the way you share. It's called verbal vomit, and you want to avoid that at all costs. What we would like for you to do is to listen to the person that you're talking to and look for cues for where they say, oh, I'm not sleeping well. Maybe my energy's low. I would love to get this dress for this upcoming wedding. I mean, you're going to hear in conversation things that you are aware of that ER Shred would be a good solution for them. And that's the opening to share your story in a proper way. And the whole idea for tonight is take good notes, but then start to write down how this relates to your story, your experience with ER Shred, and how can you start to frame your story so that it meets the need of the individual that you're talking to. It's a real art. So without further ado, I'd love to bring on our ambassador and Jesse Jamnick, the man, the legend. And Jesse, for all of you guys that know Jesse, of course, he's our ambassador over the nutritional side. We have Susan Rothman, who is on our health board. And I mean, she's it, but she's also the master. I mean, we go to her for just about everything to really get an understanding of what is happening. And I thought also this is perfect because you're going to get Jesse's energy, the male perspective, but you're also going to get Susan's view of things and how it might relate to women. So I think this is going to be a perfect mix. So Jesse, I would like to start with you because last night you said a few things that always resonate with me, that always I'm like going, that's so true. Now that we've been in this for a good 10 months, we've kind of evolved how we share or what we say ER Shred is. And I think what Sean came up with as far as doing a call is an amazing explanation, but that's too long to tell somebody, oh, by the way, what is ER Shred? And then whip it out and let's read it to you because it does explain everything, right? How do you look at ER Shred today, given what's happened? And how do you like to position it when someone asks you, well, Jesse, what is the ER Shred?
Yeah, that's a great question. So thanks for having me again. I love being here. It's real simple. And like you said, Bob, it's super easy to overcomplicate things, to talk too much. And I even catch myself doing it to this day sometimes. So it's like, I don't think we're ever necessarily perfect because we get excited. And the more we're excited, the better it's there. So the main thing is when people say, what is the ER shred? I go, look, it's a simple 11-day elimination reset shred protocol. It's going to teach you how powerful of a drug food really is. It's going to show you and allow you to experience how you're supposed to feel.
Perfect.
That's it.
That's awesome.
And obviously
That-
you can go into
that's-
so much more, but it's that simple.
Okay, that's amazing. So we'll hold that thought. Susan, I know that you've been signing up some people recently as well, and they look at you as a health professional. So maybe the question, and this is the other thing, I know a lot of us think, oh, well, Jesse's, an elite athlete and a nutritional guy and guru and knows it all and has been doing it for 20 some years. Or Susan, you're a health professional. Of course, you're going to be successful. From my view, I actually think it's harder for you two to share than it is for someone who would be like a straight layperson. And what I would like to hear from you first, Susan, is how do you share ER shred? And maybe then you can add on in terms of, it is a challenge being a health professional and then having to explain a new nutritional program.
Thank you, Bob. I basically do pretty much exactly what Jesse does. And I agree with you. Being a health professional is not always an asset. It depends on what arena that you're in, because you want to meet people where they are. So I basically do the same thing, that it's an elimination reset protocol. It's a way of getting all food sensitivities and culprits out of the body, which makes you feel amazing, and discovering your own food blueprint. And I tailor how I share to where I am. Of course, in the office, in the medical office, it's very different how I present the ER shred. Yesterday, I made a connection at the gym. That was, just my story, what my results were. I was feeling kind of low to the ground, kind of sluggish. I wanted to lose 8 pounds. I did this protocol. I lost 8 pounds, a bunch of hitches. I feel amazing. They're seeing me in the gym. They're seeing my activity level, what I'm doing. And that was a great connection. So yeah, the elimination reset, what I'm finding, it's not so much what I say, that I'm so freaking excited about it, that's what gets people. It's like, I don't understand everything you're saying to me, but I know you're really excited about it. And that's what people feel, just authentic.
I like that. And that's, how Sean is always talking about it. It's more about the feels, how are you feeling? And how do you feel with the different foods that you're putting into your body? As just you say, is it fueling you, or is it hurting you? I do want to come back to this, but with Jesse, I wanted to specifically ask, with your experience with being fat adaptive, and that's something that you talk about, we're going low carb, it's not keto, it's not carnivore, but it's that sweet spot right in between. I know that when Sean first threw this at you, you said, interesting, let me think about it. And then you came back to him and said, hey, I think this actually will work. Let's go for it. I know at the time you were in the middle of training, heavily training for your, I don't know if it was a Georgia death race, but one of those crazy races that you're involved in. So you couldn't break your system. I mean, why would you? You wouldn't want to take that risk. But after you finished, you then did the ER shred. You understand what being fat adaptive is, but how unique was your experience with ER shred being fat adaptive versus what you've done in the past? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So you're looking for more of the health side?
Well, for you personally, because you've come with all this experience and you go, oh yeah, I know what fat adaptive is. I'm looking at this. Yeah, it's not keto, but yeah, I kind of get it. Yeah, Sean, I think this is going to work. Let's do it. Before you did this yourself, though, you were in the middle of training. And I know that you didn't jump right in until after the fact. But I've heard you say this, and maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said that when you finally did it, it was like, holy smokes, it's even better than I thought. Yeah. Can you tell from your view, what is it to be fat adaptive, but why is this unique? Why is this different?
Okay. So a couple things. So one, first off, as an endurance athlete, I do specifically somebody who's doing Ironmans, ultra marathons, something to that extent. you have to understand that you already are pretty much a fat burning machine. I mean, you've pretty much regulated, at that point, your body, right? So, however, I was using a lot of carbohydrates to fuel the workouts that I was doing. I was using carbohydrates very wisely. It wasn't trash carbohydrates, which means it wasn't, bleached flour. It wasn't added sugars. I mean, we're talking, Ezekiel breads and whole grains and beans and sweet potatoes, and they were strategically staged and timed around my workouts, because pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout are three really super important windows that we can learn how to take advantage of. So for me, when I said, hold on a second, my big thing, Bob, was I was so sick and tired of seeing the diet crap, seeing let's strip calories, seeing, we're talking about stripping calories, but we're not talking about adding nutrients. We're not talking about adding trace minerals. We're not talking about feeding the body on a cellular level. Like, I wanted to make sure that we weren't getting into one of these 11-day, like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, excuse the language and way I said it, but that's really what I wanted to kind of make sure of. So I said, hold on a second, but understand, like, I've put myself through many elimination protocols, throughout the years. Like Susan, I've tried and tested no grains, no soy, high grains, high protein, like finding that balance, because it's, in the medical industry or in what we do, there's always new research, there's always new publications, there's always new things, and you got to learn to decipher through all that. So with Sean, like, I was like, I want to make sure this is something that, one, is healthy, like it's actually going to cover everything. Sean's dad, Tony, I learned this from him. Like, you cross every T and dot every I, dude. Like, you don't go out there and just pound something without understanding. So I wanted to make sure that when we went through, we're feeding people on a nutritional level. We're not just, cutting calories like another diet. Elimination is not cutting calories. Elimination is taking out the poison. It's a very, very different mindset shift, right? So we're removing that poison and we're balancing it all. The meat was there. I wasn't scared of the meat. The supplements are taking care of everything because they're at such high levels. The secret that we have with another third party, Dr. Marco Ruggiero, with the incubation process, like, all this stuff made sense. I knew the science. I knew the quality of our fulfillment company, Isagenix, because I already put them through the ringer and did my due diligence, like Susan. Like, we've been there, done that. You know what I mean? So, and then when I was able to do it myself, it wasn't a Georgia death race I was training for. It was a 50 miler at that time. So Crystal and I were doing that, and you just don't change what you do at the end of training going into a race. Like, that's like asking for pure punishment on top of what you already know is going to be punishment. You know what I mean? So I kept that the same, but understand that even though I wasn't hardcore this way, I was very close. I wasn't very far off.
Okay.
You know what I
So
mean?
hold that thought. So
Okay.
you did the 50 miler, you were very, very close, fat adaptive, using carbs very strategically. And the bottom line is that when you got back, you said, okay, I'm all in, I'm going to do the ER shred. After that experience, you noticed a change in terms of how you function, so much so that I think you said, okay, Georgia death race, I'm going to stick with an ER shred protocol for the whole thing, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Well,
Okay, but you did that only because you had enough of an experience, though, that you thought, correct, hey, I think this is going to work. So what was that shift between what you did right, which sounds very, very complicated, to then doing the ER shred and your experience with that?
Okay, so the major differences was it was way easier.
Okay.
I like simplicity because, like everybody else, life is busy. Life is challenging. Kids, work, career, family, so on and so forth. Imaginary stuff that just so-called happens every day, right? So the simplicity, mind-blowing. My recovery after a very small switch, and I'm going to be very honest with you, I knew this wasn't going to take me a long period of time to make a full switch into going, because, again, I was training this way for so long. You know what I mean? And I didn't necessarily have to go through. Now, I did go through that in the past, and when I stripped carbs down and I played that game, so I'm very well aware of what it feels like. But I also knew that, like, you got to understand, like, I'm not scared of uncomfortable. Like, I'm not scared of being uncomfortable. And I think we're so scared of being uncomfortable that it's like we miss out on so much in freaking life. So when I did this, the major shift was the simplicity. My recovery, I noticed, was through the roof. And I'm talking like even faster. And I didn't have bad recovery, Bob. Like I want to, like, you know what I mean? For me, it's like these simple changes. And when you're at a certain level, these little changes, although they don't seem like, oh, just you didn't lose 50 pounds and whatever, like you have no idea the difference though. You start shaving 10 seconds a mile over 50 miles or whatever the case may be, these bigger things add up, right? So that recovery was better. My endurance for long term on less. This is huge because as an ultra marathoner, you know, I had to consume a lot even while training to keep my glycogen stores full. Tracy just asked the question, like, no, I wasn't scared because I understood the anatomy of the human body, right? Like I knew that once I got my body clicked again onto just using fat, it's like an endless supply of energy. It was just wrapping my brain around the fact that like everybody always said, here it goes back again. Even I fell for this crap. Everybody said as an endurance athlete, I got to use carbs. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I was like, whoa, you got to practice what you preach, dude. Like, you know what I mean? So it's more of a reality check of getting there, Bob. But that inflammation, the kinks and cranks, like my elbow, dude, my knee, I was doing hip work because I knew that when you have a knee injury as a runner, it's usually never your knee, right? So it's like, it's always core, it's always hip, it's always glutes, it's always gait, it's always something else besides the actual thing. But all of a sudden, the stuff that I chalked up to lifting heavy weights for many, many years magically went away. And for me, I'm like, whoa, like that's really nuts because I'm not imagining shit. I ain't going through a placebo thing. I'm the most like analytical person when it comes like being so in tune with your body is like almost a curse in a way because you can feel if like your little pinky's off and it like throws your brain off and you're like, oh my God, why is that happening? You know what I mean? Like you're so in check. But all those little things, and they weren't big burdens, mind you. They didn't hinder my training. They didn't stop me from performing, but they were a nuisance. They were aggravating. I would rub CBD oil on stuff and I would have to do extra where now I wasn't having to do that. Checkbox, another win. You see the simplicity factor and how it's coming into play. So those things itself, Bob, were for me amazing, like absolutely amazing, you know, when it came to that. And then came the actual race. So I trained the entire thing as when I started off, it sucked for sure. I mean, it absolutely sucked, but I knew like, I just talked myself out of it. After so many years, I can literally self-talk myself out of deep.
So when you see somebody today and you're telling them about ER Shred, in your view, is it more of, as Sean would say, the inner feeling, like you light up differently? Is it your energy switched and how you share the story? Or does someone say, well, Jesse, that's just being fat adaptive. I've done that before. Because the people who you're hanging out with, they've done everything too. So
no, not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Well,
I mean, you gotta understand, like the ultra endurance world, we talk about it, but it's like a very small percentage of people.
Well, I'm just saying,
I mean,
people who in general that you hang out with that are health professionals, trainers, that elk that you kind of, you're in that group, right? I mean, that's
do you want me to be so honest with you? Susan's one of my rare friends that's actually in this industry because she's like my sister from another mister. Like she just gets it. Like we vibe on the same frequency.
That's cool.
I usually hate communicating with the other people in this industry
So
because they're so brainwashed.
Yes.
Well, that was my question. Because obviously that's the hard part. When you're talking to somebody who knows it all, they challenge you. And I was wondering, okay, how do you overcome an objection with them?
I don't. I've learned a long time ago. I don't have energy for that crap. I don't even want those people working with me. If you have all the answers, I can't help you because to this day, I never believe I have all the answers. I never believe that I'm the king shit. Like I never believe any of that. I can always learn. I can always learn from somebody else. And if I don't have somebody that's open-minded, they're not worth my time, just like the crappy food that's not worth a place in my body. For me, it's the same thing. When I started making the relation, Bob, so many can get from this because I've had these realizations lately, right? That I'm like, well, wait a minute, if I'm doing this with my nutrition and I'm doing this with my health, why would I not do this for my personal career? Why would I not invest? Like I didn't become an ultra marathoner by going, hey, I want to go run 50 miles. I mean, that shit was a journey. It was a brutal, aggravating, miserable, nasty time with a lot of good in between. And that's like building business. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not saying that to be like scare you away. Like, you just got to understand the relevant, right? So you ride the high, you minimize the low, just like fitness, just like health. I do the same thing with that. Does
Okay.
that, am I on point with that?
No, you're on point.
Okay.
It's perfectly
I want to
makes
say
sense.
something about that.
Go
Can I
ahead.
say something about that, Bob?
Yes. Yeah, of
Me and
course.
Jesse were like, boom, so we just get each other. And I'm the same place. And Jesse, it's so cool because it's like we're shredding that stuff too. It's like enough already. If, I'm around a lot of people that they have no interest in health. Those are not my people. And I don't want to waste time there anymore. I live my life as attraction rather than promotion. People watch what I'm doing and then they watch you. And then over time, they'll come back. But I agree, that's something we need to shred too. Like wasting our time with people or dragging people or pulling them. The people that want this. And you can see it's obvious when me and Jesse talk about this, the excitement level. When I'm talking to somebody new about this, that excitement level is through the roof. It's how I build every business I have. I was passion on fire, had a little bit of information. I didn't know the answer. I'd go and find it. I was always authentic. It was always about others. And me too, the journey is, because I get all in with people and I get very excited and it's slowing it down and listening. And that is the journey I'm on now. It's listening to what people want because I can go off with just whatever, and not everybody wants what I want, A lot of
Do you find yourself asking more questions?
Yes,
what they
I'm getting
want?
better at it.
Okay.
Getting
Good.
better at it.
So one of the things
I think the questions, Bob, are the magic.
Yeah.
Mhm, absolutely.
The questions are the magic. Like, you can relate to somebody without spilling everything that's happened to you. You know what I mean? Like, the questions are the magic because nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
Nobody
Now,
cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So until you're showing somebody and you're saying, like, if Susan's like, I'm really struggling with my weight and it's coming about, I'm like, Susan, I can relate to you. Like, I was there X amount of time ago. Thankfully, I got introduced to something that's drastically changed my life. If we could help you lose that weight, Susan, do you think that would benefit you? Stop. Like, I'm not talking anymore. That's a question. We always do this, right? And I was guys, this took me years to get good at. Like, I screwed this up so much in the beginning. Like, I had no clue and still did okay. You know what I mean? But now it's like, okay, I'm just going to pause for a sec because we overcomplicate it so much, Bob, and it can be so easy if we're actually caring, right? Like, I'm caring. Susan's crying out to me. I'm saying, hey, Susan, I can feel you. If I had a solution, would you be open to checking it out? Because, man, I'll tell you, it's drastically altered the course of my life. And if Susan says yes, she gave me permission. Guess what, guys? It's no more weirdness anymore. Like, Susan and I are now communicating. And I said, tell me, Susan, how long have you been struggling? What have you tried? What do you think's the answer? How would life be different? How would you wake up differently if we could help you lose those 30 pounds? How important is it to you? And I'll be like, look, here's what I can do. I have this amazing free support group online. Is it okay if I add you to that, Susan? And I want you to see, don't take my word on it. Watch this. Don't take my word on it. I want you to see what thousands of other people have experienced. You guys, we're at that point now where it's like, you don't got to argue it's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, we have so many proofs of concept that it's like, all you can do is be there to attempt to help and offer. And it's either a yes or no. It's not a personal thing. It's just, are they ready or are they not? And if they are, I'll tell you, Bob, it's such a smooth process. It's like this breath of fresh air. People are like, yes, I would like to see that. Yes, I would appreciate if you put me in there. Now, my job would be, okay, I need to follow up in a couple of days and say, hey, Susan, I'm so excited to see you in there. Have you had a chance to check it out? Did you see any of these crazy testimonials? Now, I also might find something that would resonate with Susan. Let's say that I know your story is similar to Susan. I might tag Susan in your story and say, Susan, check out what my friend Bob has been able to accomplish. It really reminded me of you. I know you can do this and we can do it together. And that's just a quick little thing. So you see where it's very natural, Bob. It's not like you didn't see any sales in there, right? There's no sleazy, slimy, whatever. Like I'm just sharing raw experience and keeping it real. And then we're allowing the process to do it for us. And we're just simply being professional and following up at that point. And if they're in, they're in. I say, can I show you anything else? Or do you believe you're ready? Can I help you? I'll be ready to help you hit those goals you share with me. And if Susan says, yeah, I go, great, I'm going to send you a link. It's going to take you less than 5 minutes. Let's get this going so I can help you lose that 30 pounds that you share with me you wanted to lose.
There's a book, and I was trying to find it, and I didn't, obviously, but it's Bill.
That's 'cause you have
I
too
can't think of
many.
his last name. I've got books. Yeah, I got books everywhere. Bill's his first name. I'm having a senior moment. But anyway, asking the right questions. And he wrote this book about 2004, and he's in Isagenix. He's actually an ER shred. And Sean knows him well. Great guy. But he has that book that's amazing.
This is the guy that Rod Brooks has as a coach.
Yep, that's it.
I know who you mean.
Asking the right questions. But I have the book here somewhere, but I don't want to keep diving underneath the desk. One of the things that I always learned, and this is something that's so cool, because a lot of the things when I was a money manager, a lot of the stuff I did was 95% of the stuff I did was over the phone. So you have to be very, very good at listening. But when you ask that question, the rule is simply this: whoever speaks first loses. So once you ask that question, it's going to be, they call it that uncomfortable pause, where it's like you almost want to say something, but you got to bite your tongue and say, and it may seem like a minute went by, but it's probably only 10, 15 seconds. But again, whoever speaks first loses. So the idea is when I ask a question, make sure that you get the other person to engage and answer it. And that's in Bill's book too. By the way, he mentions that. One of the things I wanted to ask Susan, and this is something that Sean told me today, my little quick story. So I've been working with both you guys, but Susan also, as far as accountability, like, are you doing your thing? Are you making your phone calls? What are you doing going to do this week? I have my chicken list. I've got guys that have known me for years that I'm thinking, I don't want to just call them up out of the blue, beg them to do Isagenix, beg them to do ER shred. I get excited if, in this case, my buddy from high school got on Facebook, and I'm thinking, it's awesome. So I friend request him. So now we're friends. Lost touch, hadn't spoken to him since I graduated in 1980. I think we probably talked in 1984, 85, and that was about it. Thankfully, he reached out to me, and he's one of those silly posts that I've been making, but he just said, I want to talk to you about ER shred. I'm thinking, you're kidding, right? A couple days go by, he finally calls, we connect today. The amazing thing he said is what my wife always told me. She said, you got to be consistent with Facebook, and you got to be out there on a continuous basis, but you got to make sure that your message is clear. Who are you and what are you doing? Now, for all of those on this call tonight, you know that when we bought in with ER Shred, we said, I'm all in, I'm 100% ER Shred, and I try not to confuse it. Well, thankfully, my friend said, I've been stalking you for years, and I never told you this, but I've been very impressed with what you've been doing. I've had some health issues this last year, and I really want to basically make a change. I trust you, and I want to do. I'd like to do the ER shred. As simple as that. And I was like blown away, and I thought, wow, one, he trusts me, but he was following me on Facebook, which I wasn't aware of. But my wife was correct in saying that if you're clean with your messaging, then people will identify with you like, oh, that's Bob. He's the ER shred guy, or that's Bob. He does that amazing program that people are having success with. Sean just pointed out something to me tonight as I was cooking my steaks. And I'm sorry, I was kind of late jumping on. I told him that I signed him up. I can't believe it. I'm so fired up because this guy played tailback. He was a stud. He was faster than I was. We played football all these years together from, I forgot what we call it. Doesn't matter. 5th grade, 6th grade, all the way up. I know we're going to have a great result for him. And when he does, he's going to impact so many lives. And I'm just excited that he signed up. And Sean said to me, it has nothing to do with your knowledge or you doing anything differently. He goes, Bob, if I were to pinpoint it, has everything to do with your energy. Your energy is different. And I have to admit that. I literally woke up from the dead doing the ER shred. So Susan, I wanted to bring you and I want to ask you this. We've talked about this, but you've been giving it a lot of thought. What's going on with our mindset? Why am I happier, or why am I more outgoing than maybe I was doing our fulfillment company? Isagenix is amazing. I was doing everything right, but I wasn't doing the ER shred version. But this took me next level, if that makes sense.
Yes, same thing happened to me. It lit me up. And the same energy when I first did the original system is what happened to me with ER Shred times 10. So everyone around me saw that. So I came from nothing happening, kind of losing interest in everything. I've told you guys, aging out, nobody's listening to me, I'm not relevant, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, boom. And, you know, I think about this, and I've had this all throughout my career where all of a sudden, like the phone stops ringing. I'm in fear, the phone stops ringing. Then I shift, I'm in it, my energy comes up, I'm bringing that, and everything changes. It happens when I don't even leave my house. So it is all energy and how people perceive you. And that's what attracts people. And then whatever you have to say, hopefully you're authentic and you're bringing something of value. But it's always been. And another thing about the questions and getting to that place, it's like a natural evolution. And what's happened, you know, we're seeing an ER shred, more confidence, people being braver, happier, their brain is clear. Well, asking those questions, it's all a journey to self-development, because you have to be in your posture and with certainty to even ask those questions. So it all comes from that energy. And whatever we're doing here, you know, I keep saying it. I mean, you know, Susan's on the call tonight. She's another nurse. She knows there's a lot of clinical gobbledygook that we can talk about here. But I don't know. Are we healing the gut? Are we taking up neurotransmitters? Are we clearing information? Are we clearing out debris in our joints? Are we feeling lighter? Like, is it partly confidence because we're losing weight, we're getting leaner? I have no explanation for what I'm seeing in this group. And then the other piece here is the love in this group. And people find a place. And when you're authentic in the way we bring this to people from the heart, people sense that. So, and Jesse, we're related, man, because I sent you a picture of my notes tonight with the, people don't care how much you know how much you care. I have it written down. So yeah, and really, I wish I had a system. I wish I had a strategy. I built my herbal business because I found something that lit me up. I knew it could help people. It took me out of nursing. I mean, I must have had 5 books a night reading. I would lay down, close the light, and I'd go, oh, but what about this? And I would jump back up and I would be in another group book, and traveling the country and learning, going to China and learning all this stuff. And it's the same thing when I find something like this, like I'm going to share it. And I say this all the time in the group. It's inherently human. When you find something of great value, is to share it. And people are, even the mood stuff today, what's happening to people, I call them low flyers. And I don't mean that bad. And what Jesse was just saying about the business, I want to be around high flyers. Either you get it or you don't. And I know that if you're not there on that level, you definitely can recognize it and see it. And that sticks in people's minds. So I know on Facebook, and I do a lot of goofy stuff on Facebook. I do a lot of goofy stuff, and I'm just myself. Everyone knows that I'm the shake girl, you know. And I actually went to dinner with a group of women. This girl that she never comments on nothing. I never see her. And we sit down to dinner, and she says to me, so that ER shred thing. So they watch. She still hasn't done it, but she will.
So one of the things, and I'll ask this of Jesse, I mean, not that we have to pinpoint it, because it could be a number of things. It could be your, as Susan said, you're healing your gut. Maybe it's that extra butter in my diet, but something is happening in my brain where one of my bad habits is I felt I had to know everything at all times going on in the world. And I had to watch CNBC 24/7, news stations. And I was like a newsreel, even though I've been out of this business for 25 years, no, 23 years, or something like that. But anyway, I've been out for a while, since 2005, 15 years, 16 years. My point being is that I never got off the bad habit of watching the news. And it was a Debbie Downer, more or less, right? ER shred 11 days. I felt so good internally that I didn't want to have any thing in my environment that would bring me down. And I was finding that news was turning me off like right away. And I'm like, ooh, that's bad. I'll turn it off. And I think I hardly watch the news anymore. So my mindset's different. I have changed inside out, but I changed so much so, Jesse, that I've literally eliminated a habit that I've had since I was in my early 20s, for 30 some years. There's something going on with the ER shred that is so unique and different that is changing us. And then you see people like last night lighting up. Debbie, I think is her name, Mimi's friend. Mimi lit up. I mean, we're seeing the changes in all of our personalities. We're more outgoing, we're happier, et cetera, et cetera. Jesse, what do you think is happening with that? And why?
Magic question, right? I mean, I think I really think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it's what health really is all about. Like, it's everything coming back into balance. Like, I think we take for granted what the human body is. And I've done it myself because we're human and that's just what we do, right? Like, we take these things for granted, especially our health, especially our body, especially our brains, because they were given to us for free. They were given to us for free. And unless you want to have, like, you got to have these real realizations, right? Like, I consider myself a realist. Like, if it's people are like, well, that's negative. I'm like, no, it's not negative. It's real. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between like bitching, moaning, crying, whining. Like, I think it's such a combination, Bob, where it's like, it starts with superficial, where it starts with the confidence because the weight, right? It starts with the confidence because we feel better, we feel sexier, we feel, more energy, we feel human again. And I don't think we even understand what I mean by that is we don't understand how just out of whack our bodies are, even if we're dehydrated by 2%. We don't understand that if we're lacking trace minerals, we need 70 of those little babies a day, right? If we're lacking those trace minerals over time built up, those engines aren't working, those pistons aren't firing, we're not changing that oil, right? Any well-built machine needs to continuously be maintained and kept up. And now that we're finally doing that and we're affecting the body, we're affecting the gut, we're healing the gut from the inside out naturally the way it should be done, the gut's then connected to the brain. And it's the neurons, it's the fires, it's you got to understand the systems. I mean, gosh, we could talk, Susan and I could do a 24-hour marathon of like every system and how it's interconnected and intertwined. And Susan's shaking her head too, like, it's just the way it works. It's the lymphatic system, it's the blood, it's the neurological system. I mean, you have so many of these things if you look in the body, right? And so all these things now are starting to come back into balance. We don't have hormones, Bob, that are out of whack anymore. We don't have insulin that's spiking and crashing and adrenaline that's being released for no reason whatsoever, which is then causing, cortisol and more chronic inflammation, which is then making our white blood cells attack us. Like, you have no idea all the shit that's going on inside. And when you clean all of that up and the body starts to respond, and on top of that, Bob, we're stripping the poison, right? Now, again, I'm not talking like first 11 days. Maybe you get a little piece of it, but you're talking like stuff that's going deeper with people that stick around, right? Well, think about the concept. The body is constantly rejuvenating itself. So I always talk about it. We have new skin cells every 28 days. We have new red blood cells every 3 months. We have new cells that are being produced. And the question that I always say, I go, look, do you want those new cells to be born in a nutrient-rich environment, which means that they're healthy, they're vibrant, they're ready to fire, they're ready to do their job, whatever that job may be? Or Do you want those cells to be born in a nutrient deficient environment, full of flour and sugar and whatever else we're putting in that we call food these days, right? And I mean, if you start to understand and look at things like that, one, it's an easy concept why you want to keep going, but then you start to realize, Bob, it's building on each other, right? So it starts with attacking the inflammation, and then the hormones, and then the balance, and then the weight. And obviously we know being obese is not healthy for us. It's squishing our organs. So now, oh shit, our organs are breathing better. They're actually functioning. Our heart is pumping blood better. Our lungs are taking in oxygen better. Our kidneys are filtering better. Oh my gosh, our liver is actually doing what our liver was designed to do. Like, do you understand? Like, when you start to function and fuel at these levels, Bob, this is the euphoric feeling, right, that I talk about. Like, this is my choice, why I do what I do. Because of all these things I'm explaining to you. Not because I need muscles, although that's a cool side effect, right? I don't need the 8-pack, but it strikes up conversation sometimes. Okay, great, right? I don't need those things. Those are byproducts to me. It's just the ultimate factor of health. But I think it's all that put together. I don't think it's just a short answer. It's that bigger picture all fired together.
I know we don't want to explain all that to a person from a business standpoint.
No.
So I'll get right back to the skinny. And that is, I mean, we feel different. We are changed. Our personalities, we light up. And this is where I'm getting at. You've done our old system, Jesse, with the fulfillment company. Great system, great product. Do you feel better today than you did when you did the system the way you did before? I mean,
100%, because of the small changes that I've told you that I've gotten from this. Like, for me, those aren't small changes.
Are you happy? Are you more energized? Are you more lit up? Are you more excited about life?
Okay, here's the thing. I've been jacked up for years, to be honest with you. Here's the difference. I would wake up at 4:15 in the morning. I've done that for, I don't even know, maybe 2 decades now, a decade and a half, okay? The difference is I no longer need to go to the sink and splash cold water first. I no longer need to take, 7 minutes to just let my body wake up. Like, I'm waking up now with the alarm, and it's like, there's no snooze. There's no snooze allowed. It's like, wake up, rocket ship, go. Like, I've already pre-planned my day the night before. I know it needs to get done that morning. I get that done. I get that sense of accomplishment. It leads into another. So yeah, on that level for sure. And the recovery aspect of, the workouts that I do and being able to deal with all the added stress. Remember, I'm ripping apart my house right now. I got a baby due in 7 weeks or less. Like, I'm not even in the house right now. I'm staying with dad. I'm traveling. I'm balancing business. My wallpaper installation and wallpaper blinds business is 6 days a week. Sometimes I'm going from 8:30 to 7 o'clock at night. On top of that, I'm building this business because I believe in long term and I want that future for my babies, my kids. Like, do you understand? So I can balance all of that better in a way where it's not as stressed out feeling, because sometimes I would crash a lot. And now it's like, it's more of a controlled way where I can be like, oh, okay, I know I might need a little break right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm more in tune with that.
No, I totally get you. I mean, and the one thing you do not lack in is passion. You're one of the most energized guys I know. So, Susan, you've done the traditional fulfillment program with Isagenix. We had it with eating a balanced meal of balanced macros, the zone diet, 30, 30, 30, whatever you want to follow. How do you feel today compared to then?
It's very similar to Jesse. I mean, I've always been jacked up. I'll use that word, jacked up, a lot of energy. Year trip, there were actually moments where I knew, like, don't call this person because she's not going to be able to take this, because I was so high energy. But what's different now is the energy is, it's like laser. It's consistent. There's no like frenetic part to it. I, set out my day. I hit my goals. I'm high energy. My mood is more stable than it was, because I would have highs and lows. Aches and pains are better. Definition in the gym that I've been working on forever. Also had some physical things change. When a lot of you have heard my story about my thyroid, when my thyroid tanked, I lost a lot of hair. I could never get regrowth. It stopped thinning, but I could never get regrowth. On this protocol I started, that started coming back. What it did for my skin. But it's just a whole different outlook on on life, just this positive outlook, steady energy, no crashes, being able to get through my day. I mean, I'm also working in a functional medicine practice. I come home, I have a lot of cleansers I'm following up on. I am building this where in September, I had like nothing happening. And that's all with the business end. And that's all turned around. And it's only because of my energy. You know, I'm out and about more and I have more confidence going through my day. So yeah, I'm just overall happier. And
I mean,
the energy is fantastic.
Well, that's energy and confidence, right? We're happier, we're more lit up. And this is kind of really what I get at. There's no magic to sharing your story. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And this is what's going to make ER Shred even more magical for those that are looking to share it and actually build a business compared to what we used to do with the old system. And the reason is we feel better, we're more lit up. I know the energy has changed. So when we show up and we talk to people, it's like a whole nother level. And basically what is magnetic is energy. So if you are depressed, if you're jealous, if you're angry, frustrated, bitter, resentful, all those negative things, you're in the ditch. Your energy is at a very low vibration. When you're spontaneous, excited, energized, happy, elated, boombastic, she said bombastic. The thing is that you are at a very peak energy. You're at that peak state, as Tony Robbins would call it. And when you're at that level, you're magnetic. And the one thing that I'm seeing with ER Shred is we're at that level more often than not. We don't find very many lows in the day. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if you're in that peak state and you're excited, that's when you're going to connect with people and people are going to be more like, gee, Susan, I want to have what you've got. What are you doing again? There's a guy on my team. I'll give him credit. He's a monk, basically, soul dancer. But he said his teacher told him that, and he's talking about cleansing the body, right? Cleaning the body, healing it from the inside out. When you wash the windows, the sunlight will come in. In other words, if your system's gunky and we can't get the sunlight in, no light is coming out. So when we have cleaned our insides, more or less, we've cleaned the window, the light is shining through us, but we're also shining on others. So with this whole concept of we've got our story, we're excited. I've been working on this. I want to ask you too this question. I've been working and noodling with this for a while, but I don't have anything written down. This is just on top of my head. But when we put together Shredder's, ershred.biz is the website, ershred.biz. I really wanted to use Steve Jobs, Apple, and Simon Sinek, who literally became a whole business on marketing based upon how Steve Jobs did it with Apple. And what I want to get to is that when you're in school, you're taught to sell features and benefits, benefits. We're different, we're better than you are, feature, benefit, etc. And it gets boring after a while. Steve Jobs went to it from a total different perspective. And Simon Sinek, the guy who wrote the book on finding your why, basically calls it the golden circle. And that's really what I want to try to work with ER Shred. So when I'm thinking of what ER Shred is, you could say, oh yeah, ER Shred is running on the tracks. ER Shred's our protocol. That's not what ER Shred is. If you're going to do it from the Apple perspective of who is Apple, we create an environment that is fun. We create an environment that people can get things done successfully, blah, 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 blah. Oh, by the way, we make computers, right? And I don't have that language down what they did. ER Shred, we're a community of like-minded individuals who aspire to live our best life, and we empower others by utilizing the ER Shred, something in that angle. And I'd like to play with that because what Jesse says every time when he does a call, the biggest thing we got going for us is our community. So yeah, people want to lose weight, but one thing, there's a zillion programs out there, but what nobody has is a community that you can plug into at no cost that will give you the accountability and the support you need. So when I think of ER Shred, I'm thinking ER Shred, we're a community of like-minded individuals who aspire. And then at the end, yeah, we do this, we achieve this by following the ER shred. And then it leads you into what is the ER shred. What are your thoughts when you think of like the golden circle, the bigger picture, how Apple is? You know, we're the crazy ones. We're the ones that are the wackadoodles, but we're enough different where I think we really have something here that is so unique, different. Plus we've got a community. There's nothing else quite like this. And we're seeing it every Wednesday night. We're seeing it on the people with Jesse's calls that he interviews. The emotion, the people who light up when they share their story. And a lot of people will say, if it wasn't for the community, I don't know if I would have gotten through the program. What is your view on this going forward? How do you see it evolving? And does that make sense using that golden circle, I'm sorry?
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. And I'm very proud of this community. And I use the group. I know that if I can get someone in this group, that they're probably going to do the ER shred. And when people say to me they're not on social media, I'm like, damn, because I feel like they're really missing something. So the community ties it all together. And you said something, you know, it's really funny as we're talking tonight, and some of the things that I've been working on, like you're pulling it together, because like the confidence piece of standing in your posture, shredding those old beliefs, or comparing, or not the certainty that we have something amazing here. And then the community on top of it, and fun. And that's this business can be fun, because for me, nothing lights me up as much as watching somebody else, teaching somebody how to fish instead of giving them a fish, watching people change their lives, get a hold of this, and then they teach you things. I mean, that's the most rewarding part of all of this. And the community is the bigger picture. The culture that we have created here, it's something we all should be very, very proud of. I know we are.
Well, Jesse, you're the major cog in all of this, you know, with the messaging. One of the things that I do want, no, I'm just saying, being sincere, and that is, it's a group effort. It's our whole community. I mean, everyone in this community is an equal part. And that's why I think we get so excited when other people open up and share how important that is for us, because it isn't what I'm saying. It's not what Jesse's saying or what Susan's saying, but when we all sing as a choir and we have the same level of energy, enthusiasm, now we have something. Jesse, what do you feel in terms of with the messaging that we've done, kind of the outline of what's possible? Where do you think this is going to carry ER shred? I know you've come up with some big numbers in the past, but
Oh yeah.
I do believe we have something that's so unique and so special. And as you've always pointed out, the magic is the community. How do you see this evolving over the course of this next year? And this is where I think we hit pay dirt. The early adopters came in the last 10 months. We've got a lot of people watching, and there's a lot of people finally going, oh shit, I think I got to do that ER shred thing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. Woo. What are my thoughts? Okay. I wrote down in a circle in front of me, lifeline. That's what came to mind. Lifeline. Like ER shred is the lifeline to whatever you need the lifeline to be. Do you understand? For me, it filled what felt like was a missing piece in my soul of trying to figure out what I was meant to do in this world. And I knew what I was meant to do. I was on the right path, but it never like, God, I just felt this rush of blood in me, because I'm like trying to contain my emotion of like what this has done for me to fill me as a whole person. So I look at this as, you know, the numbers for me, I mean, they're not, I think I undershot, to be honest with you. I mean, when you look at the millions of people that are in this world, the people who are just getting the internet, who don't even know what's going on, the other countries who are behind and take years to catch up, like the opportunity that we have to drastically, truly impact the world from a health perspective, that shit lights me up. And, you know, I know it could sound whatever, you know, you could believe me, you could not believe me. I don't give a crap. I'm telling you that this will happen. And it will happen because of what we've seen over the last 11 months. There's people that reach out to me that I can't even get to every day, Bob. Like influential people that I have a list to get up to. A guy just reached out to me that started the ISA Guys Foundation, that group, right, of ISA men. And that's a big group. And he's going through some health struggle. And I'm going to help that one person. And do you know that ripple effect that that's going to create when he shouts this out to all those other men? And then we got men and women and children and people just understanding that it, like, what if people just knew what was going on, if they knew about the food, if they knew about what was going on, they understood how raw this is and how powerful this is, and whatever it is, whether it's building that business or you just need that lifeline because you need a friend, you need somebody to reach out to, you need a pick-me-up that day, Bob, that can drastically change someone's life. And I'm just as proud of that than I am of helping somebody build a business where they can make $1,000 a month, because that can drastically change someone's life too. I mean, I have a solution for every walk, and I never felt this way. I felt like it was like whatever they say, you know, pick your avatar. I can talk to my avatar. If you can't keep my energy, you're not my avatar, but I can still touch you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my damn avatar. You want to tell me how to speak to my avatar? I am. Don't tell me how to speak. Don't tell me what words to use. You're not my avatar, if that's the case, right? But I can still help you because what I see happening, Bob, we hit 23,000. We're growing at a rate of 500 to 600 new member requests every single week, and that hasn't died. People said the summer's the slowest. Show me that proof, because it didn't happen in here, for crying out loud. Can you imagine what's going to happen now come fall time? Now the summertime's over. Now the Corona parties are over. Now the winter's coming, and people are like, oh shit, what did I do? They need our help more than ever. And with all the other stuff going on in the world, with all the crazy, with all the fighting, and with all the he said, she said, he's right, that's right, that blue sideways, kind of, what the, I don't know what's going on anymore, but I don't care. I don't pay attention to any of that shit because it doesn't affect my life, because I'm on a mission to make my life better every day for me and my family, and that's going to pass over into other people. Choo choo, hop aboard if that's what you need. I got a lot of room on the back of my freight train. I ain't riding some fast Amtrak. This is a freight train that you're going to sit at my rest stop, and you're going to wait there for days and weeks as we pass by, because that's where I see the ER shred going. I see we're already worldwide. We're already in Italy. We're already in Mexico. We're already in Puerto Rico. We're already over across the pond in the UK. I mean, I want to be in all the other countries that we're in, that where people can maximize, you know, the combination of our amazing fulfillment company supplements, along with the quality food that we're teaching people how to eat, what our body's designed to function off of in the first place. I mean, Bob, we have one of the most honest, real, integrity type of programs that you could possibly do. And that's a lot of the confidence too, is like when I tell somebody, if you do this, I guarantee you that you will succeed as long as you don't self-sabotage yourself or quit. Those are the two things. That's it. If you don't self-sabotage yourself or quit, you are going to succeed. I don't know if I could confidently say that. I did, but I don't know if I felt it in my heart, in my gut, like I feel it now. There is zero shake in my voice when I speak to somebody. You see, when you practice long enough, Susan, when you practice this trade long enough, and you don't argue with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my belief, Bob.
Yes.
So I see this going worldwide. I see this being a lifeline for people. I see thousands of people. You know, when you just have these effects, people, you don't even have to open your mouth. People are going to ask you, they're like, dude, what are you doing? You know why? Because so many millions of people are struggling, and you're going to be that fire, that you're like that oddball. Isn't that crazy? If we're healthy, we're the oddball, but you're going to be the oddball. And it's okay to be the oddball and fit out. So I want more people fitting out. I want to make that train bigger. I want to get into more countries. I'm talking millions of people. I'm not just throwing that number out there. I passionately believe that we can touch the lives of millions of freaking people. And I believe that that's what I was freaking born here to do. And that's what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing, no matter what. Did I
Susan,
give you a bigger picture?
Yeah.
that's good. That's a
All
hard
right.
act to follow, but where are you with your views of what's
Well,
happening?
it's radical ownership of what
Yes.
this protocol has done
Lisa.
for us. Because I'm the same place. Like I'm a health professional, but I'm not getting bogged down in the details about you're this and you're that, you're this. I have something here. It can change your life. It can change your life. I'm sure of it. The same as Jesse said, if you don't sabotage yourself, you stick to the program, you're going to get a result. Look at me, and to stand in the certainty of that. And when you present yourself that way, like what's happened to me this week is the girl at the gym, I was talking to my trainer. She picked up on my energy. And my friends around me have watched. I've always been high energy. This is next level. And they watch me and they hear me talking to other people. So this is a light that just shines. And I believe what Jesse said, this is going to get bigger and bigger. And it's really interesting about that. And I just thought of it tonight. It's like we're shredding all that self-doubt. Like we know that we have something here and you don't have to know everything. It's just like this whole thing started for me with the traditional program. Those two women said to me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know, some weight loss thing." And they handed me their credit card. And my whole journey with Isagenix started from there. And that was in July of 2007. But we have something really, really special here. Nobody's complaining, right, Jesse? Nobody's complaining. Even the people traditional Isagenix. Remember those calls? I can't go to the bed with an constipated dead. Even now, it's like there's something intuitive going on. They get it. They get it when they see Sean's, the blue post. They read that. They read the post that I put in there. And something about that, even though they might be a little uncomfortable, this is something new, they don't trust it, something higher law tells them, you know what, let me give this a shot. This is unique. It's unique to ER Shred. So yeah, I'm all in. I'll be doing this. I have a friend that doubts me. She says, well, you do this because you're making money. I do this for free and I'll keep doing it. That was a side benefit, but I'm all in with this. I always have been, and my passion is helping people. And we've got it going on. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this?
I know we're at the top of the hour, and then I could go on forever with you two, but one thing I think we definitely have hit on is that our energy is at a whole new level. Because of that, we have greater certainty and posture. And with that, there's no self-doubt. We will not take no for an answer in terms of no one's going to take it away from me. I honestly have never felt this good in my life. I keep saying, well, when did you feel this good? I didn't feel this good when I was 20. I cannot explain it. My good friend Colin Greenlaw said, Uncle Bob, there's nothing that you could have told me that would allow me to understand how good I could feel. I go, I know, that's the ball buster. I mean, I don't know how to explain this to get you to go, oh my God, other than that this is total out of body experience, next level. I did do one thing. So here's those that are on the call or those watching on Facebook, thank you. Here's my suggestion for this week. If you're going to do this as a business or even sharing it, it's your responsibility to follow the people as well as when they bring them on board, making sure they get taken care of. That's what you owe them. Someone carried you through the finish line. You need to carry someone else across the finish line. That said, make it a goal this week to invite people, at least one, or maybe it's the scariest person like, oh, that person, I don't know if they would ever do this. I did something that my wife said, how in the heck did you just do that? I said, I asked, but I literally was talking to my doctor's office. I just had another checkup. Things are going great. They called me back. I had a question. And because she called me back, the office manager, I said, are you on Facebook? Just outright asked her. And she said, yeah, why do you ask? And I said, well, I'll be very honest with you. this group that I'm in, you know what I'm doing? You've been watching my blood work and so on. I said, this is growing leaps and bounds, but we're attracting a lot of healthcare professionals. And I would love to get your viewpoint, and maybe you can get Dr. Green, and maybe you could get Michelle as well on the naturopath. Maybe she could take a look at this. What do you think? Would you be willing to be the first one to just jump on? And if you feel it's appropriate, you can add the others. Is that cool? And she said, I've been meaning to ask you about a year shred. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So awesome. I'm sending you a friend request. She's in the group. I'm getting the doctor on the group. So here's the thing. Rather than try to convince somebody they need what we have or signing them up, see if you can find people that you have that you would love for them to have this experience. Get them into the Facebook group if they're on Facebook. Just invite them in and say, I'd love your opinion. It would mean a lot if you would just jump in and take a look at this, because I can't explain this. And that's how I handled it, and it worked. And now I'm noticing, because I did it once, the second person I did it to, it was even easier. And the third person was even easier. And then today my good buddy signed up and he said, hey, I've been watching on Facebook, but you're killing me with these pictures that you're putting out of yourself. You really do look good. I mean, I can't deny it. I've been watching your videos. Your energy's different. I just want it. I said, well, what's your favorite flavor? And he said, strawberry. I go, okay, I'll get you 3 strawberries. Good to go. We'll get you signed up tonight. Invite somebody to the group and see how that works. And let's see how big we can grow this. The only thing I want you to make sure is keep a list of who you're adding to the group and follow up with them. Stay in constant contact. Don't allow them to get lost in the group and 6 months later they say, I want to do this, and you're nowhere to be found. Guys, it's the top of the hour. Jesse, do you have anything more to add?
Oh man, I just go out and have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like let this business be fun. Treat it however, if you got to decide what you want from it. And understand that everything good takes time, just like health and everything else. I just want to remind people of that, because I feel like we get frustrated. I've been there myself. This is a cool thing. It's a journey. And I look at it like, even if it takes me 10 years to get to the ultimate goal of where I want to, you know what? Those freaking 10 years are going to pass no matter what. And if I can put myself in a better situation at the end, so be it. That's long-term big picture. Same reason why I choose to eat the way that we do, because over time, I don't want insulin spiking and jacking and spiking and jacking and everything else. It's the same concept, right? Like, keep it simple, have fun with it, and just be real. That's what I'll leave with.
Perfect. Hey, Don, I'll give you a shout, but I do have an answer for you. But a lot of this is country specific in terms of with the Isolene Pro, because it has so much protein in it at 36 grams.
Yeah, it's regulations, Don.
It's more regulations, Don, than anything else. You can incubate the Isolene where that's available. In Canada, it's not, everything is available now except for the Isolene Pro. You have to purchase Isolene Pro, is not for resale. So they make you do it as 2 separate orders, which is really a pain in the butt. But there's workarounds. Susan, anything you'd like to add to end this?
Just shine your light. The world really needs it. Just shine your light, be confident, pay this forward, have fun with it. You'll meet a lot of cool people along the way.
Yeah. Without question, everybody on this call tonight is my family. I mean, I don't even hang out with my old friends from the corporate world. I mean, this is it. I mean, we're the coolest and we have more fun than anybody. It is kind of fun. I actually did that to another friend of mine. I'm trying to get signed up and I'm like going, come on, you and your girlfriend, you're going to do the shred. I need you to sign up. You're going to do it with me next month? He goes, well, let me talk to my girlfriend, right? And I'm like going, dude, we need the cool kids. It's time for the cool kids to come join us, right? Anyhow, do whatever you need to do to make them laugh, get them to join, take a look, and let's see how quickly we can grow this. We're getting into that time of the year. We're right here at Labor Day. It's going to get crazy busy. If we were growing 500-600 people a week, as Jesse said, in the summertime, we're probably going to triple that number real soon. And because of our results, and they're happening so fast, day 5 come alive for some people, most people by day 11. I mean, my gosh, Alyssa, as a breastfeeding mother of 2 babies, basically, she's doing it without cleansing, and she had that remarkable result of losing 19 pounds. It's happening. It's happening bigger, faster, stronger than ever before. thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank
This
you,
is
Bob.
fun. I really
Yeah, it
appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
was.
all three of you.
Good night,
It was a
everybody.
great
Be
call.
blessed.
Good night. Good
Mimi,
night,
I'll
Night,
see you
everyone.
Sunday.
Okay, see you Sunday.
night.
Bye.
Thank you, Jesse.
Good night.
Night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.